Stop everything you're doing, because Hollywood just witnessed the most unexpected romance of the decade. What started as a few heart emojis on Instagram has exploded into a full-blown love story that's rewriting the rules. Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson.
It was really so much fun to go to work every day.
Just enough to ask, are Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson actually dating?
Fell madly in love.
Really? In this video, you'll see how it went from secret glances to family approval and why the world is watching. Don't blink, you'll want to see every twist. Let's dive in. The spark. How it all began. In October 2024, during a press chat about their upcoming film, The Naked Gun, Liam Neeson casually dropped a line that no one expected. He admitted he was madly in love with Pamela Anderson.
Liam Neeson, Pamela Anderson, they're here. What? Last night I watched The Naked... Did they just...
At first, most assumed it was just Liam being dramatic, the kind of thing stars sometimes say to hype up a project. But it didn't end there. Pamela's actions behind the scenes spoke louder than any interview. She baked sourdough loaves for him, slipped muffins into his dressing room, and filled the set with small but meaningful acts of kindness.
Liam say is his favorite thing about working with you?
I think maybe our natural chemistry, our connection, but also my sourdough bread.
People around them described the atmosphere as unusually warm, something you don't typically see during long production schedules. Even their dinners, which were organized to look professional with assistants present, carried a different energy. The conversations lingered, laughter came naturally, and there was a magnetic pull that was impossible to ignore. For a man who had previously sworn off dating, Liam suddenly found himself pulled into something he couldn't hide. And for Pamela, who had faced endless scrutiny over the years, this connection seemed refreshingly genuine. First public heat. London premiere. On July 22nd, 2025, at the London premiere of The Naked Gun, the world witnessed their first undeniable moment. Pamela leaned in and kissed Liam on the cheek, and the cameras captured every second. It wasn't just a friendly gesture, it was the kind of affectionate move that sent the internet into overdrive. Social media detectives immediately got to work. They slowed down the footage, zoomed into facial expressions, and debated the meaning of every glance. What stood out most was Liam's reaction. He leaned into Pamela, not away, and the smile that followed looked entirely unplanned. Within hours, the clip dominated timelines.
Liam Neeson and Pamela.
Yes! They were launched on the carpet.
That's phenomenal pop culture knowledge.
If love has found their way into that relationship, God bless them both. Leave them the alone.
Fans pointed out how Pamela's eyes lingered after the kiss, and how Liam's body language showed comfort, not surprise. The speculation was no longer about whether they liked each other, it became about how long this had been happening behind closed doors. That single kiss was enough to flip the narrative completely. What had been whispered as a rumor was now undeniable to the public eye. Eyes locked in Berlin. Next-level intimacy. If London was the appetizer, Berlin was the entree. On the Berlin red carpet, Liam and Pamela locked eyes in a way that looked more like a scene from a love story than a publicity event. Their connection looked raw and unfiltered, something that couldn't be staged for cameras. Observers noted how their focus on each other drowned out the chaos of flashing lights and shouting photographers. It felt as though they were in their own world, unaffected by the frenzy around them. That kind of unguarded attention is rare in Hollywood, where stars are usually hyper-aware of being watched. For many who had doubted the seriousness of their bond, that single moment in Berlin shifted perceptions. Even skeptics admitted it was difficult to dismiss the obvious emotion on display. From that day forward, the narrative stopped being about speculation and became a story of undeniable intimacy. Family moves. Blended life out in the open. July 28, 2025 marked a turning point. At the Naked Gun's New York premiere, Liam and Pamela appeared not just as a pair, but with their families. Pamela's sons Brandon and Dylan stood confidently alongside Liam's sons, Michiel and Daniel, presenting themselves as one unified group. This was not a casual decision for Liam, who had raised his sons after the heartbreaking loss of Natasha Richardson in 2009. Introducing them publicly was monumental. It signaled a step forward, showing he was ready to let someone new into his most private circle. For Pamela, the moment carried equal weight. After years of very public heartbreaks, this was her chance to prove that she was building something real and lasting. When children are brought into the spotlight of a new relationship, the message is clear. This is not casual, this is serious. That evening in New York was more than a red carpet event. It was a statement of commitment, one that resonated far beyond Hollywood. Public confirmation tactics. The very next day, Pamela confirmed the whispers with a simple caption, 4 words, "Love is in the air." That post spread quickly, leaving little room for doubt about her feelings. Then came Liam's son, Daniel, who dropped fire emojis in the comments, a small but powerful gesture that signaled approval from within the family. It was a digital stamp of support that carried more weight than any press interview could. Later, on Watch What Happens Live, Pamela casually applied lip balm to Liam's lips in front of a studio audience. It was such a natural gesture that it looked like something they did all the time behind closed doors. When Andy Cohen asked Daniel, seated in the audience, if he approved of the relationship, Daniel responded with a confident thumbs up.
Your friends are very much standing this relationship, as the kids say. Just want to say that. Right, Danny? Yes. Okay, very good.
That simple moment gave the world its confirmation. Liam and Pamela were no longer hiding. For fans, this was a turning point. The guessing games were over, the speculation had ended, and what had once been rumors was now an open reality. Viewers saw it as proof that the couple felt secure enough to stop playing coy and embrace their connection in front of millions. By this stage, it wasn't about questioning if it was real. It was about watching how far it would go. Doubts and denials. Is it just PR? As with any high-profile romance, skepticism came quickly. Rumors circulated that the relationship was nothing more than a publicity stunt tied to their movie release. Some reports even claimed that all their so-called dinners were carefully staged with assistants present to maintain appearances. But insiders who know the couple dismissed those claims, saying there was no incentive to create such a facade. People close to them described the connection as genuine, insisting the bond was far too personal to be manufactured. Pamela herself spoke against the idea of orchestrated narratives. She has publicly said that playing into those kinds of tactics would feel like a death sentence to her authenticity. The doubts may have made headlines for a while, but the couple's actions and their growing closeness quickly drowned out the noise. Even more telling was the support from Liam's family, who openly endorsed the relationship. Family approval is not something you fake for a film campaign, and it gave the public another reason to believe the romance was authentic. If this were a publicity stunt, it would have ended long ago. Yet the story only grew stronger with each new chapter. Over time, the critics found themselves outnumbered by supporters who were ready to celebrate a rare story of healing and second chances. Support from Hollywood and beyond. The wave of support that followed was unlike anything Hollywood had seen in years. Jamie Lee Curtis praised their happiness, Chelsea Handler and Vanessa Hudgens offered congratulations, and countless other names chimed in. Andy Cohen, who had been close with Natasha Richardson, even remarked that Pamela reminded him of Liam's late wife in strength, independence, and the spirit. That comment alone showed how deeply respected Pamela had become in Liam's circle. Other stars joined the chorus of approval, including Patti Smith and Macaulay Culkin, proving that this wasn't just a trending topic, it was a cultural moment. These weren't just casual comments, they were heartfelt endorsements from people who rarely speak on celebrity romances. The entertainment industry, often quick to criticize, was standing behind them in unity. For once, Hollywood seemed to collectively agree that this couple deserved their happiness. The support also extended to fans around the world. Social media was filled with messages celebrating the couple, with many pointing out that their story felt refreshing in a world dominated by scandal and breakups. It was as if people were rooting for them not only because of who they were, but because of what their relationship represented: resilience, second chances, and the courage to move forward. What it means: healing, reinvention, and risk. For Liam, this romance marks the first serious connection since the loss of Natasha, and that fact carries enormous emotional weight. After years of staying away from relationships, he is stepping into a new chapter, one that proves healing is possible even after unimaginable pain. For Pamela, this relationship is a chance to move beyond the tabloid headlines that once defined her life, showing the world that she is more than a stereotype. Together, their story is not just about attraction, but about transformation. Their pairing challenges the usual Hollywood formula. Instead of being defined by age or past relationships, they are creating something that feels timeless. Both have endured personal trials, and now they are using those experiences to build something stronger. It's not just a romance, it's a message that life can surprise you when you least expect it. The risk they take by going public is significant. In an industry where every move is dissected, it would have been easier to stay hidden, yet they chose to embrace the spotlight and stand by each other anyway. That decision alone speaks volumes about the depth of their commitment. For fans, this makes their story relatable because it's not about perfection, it's about courage, authenticity, and the willingness to love again despite the odds. So where do Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson go from here? Do they step fully into the spotlight as Hollywood's newest and most surprising power couple, attending premieres hand in hand and cementing their status as icons of resilience? Or do they choose the opposite path, retreating into a quieter life away from the cameras, protecting the romance they've worked so hard to build? Whatever they decide, one thing is certain. This story has already changed how people look at love in Hollywood. Their connection has reminded fans that genuine relationships can bloom in the most unexpected places. It has also shown that fame, age, and past struggles don't have to define the future. This is why their story has resonated so deeply. It feels real, it feels unpolished, and it feels earned. And now, the spotlight is on you. What do you think? Is this the ultimate Hollywood love story? Or are Liam and Pamela playing a game that no one saw coming? Share your thoughts in the comments, because this conversation is just getting started. If this story surprised you, hit that like button to let us know, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that dive beneath the surface of celebrity headlines. Because in Hollywood, the truth is always more fascinating than fiction, and the most unbelievable romances are often the ones that turn out to be real.